Language Foundations Vocabulary Flashcards, helping you achieve understanding.
The act of swimming. It was the swimming they enjoyed most. Filled or brimming with tears. Swimming eyes. Applied to a fish depicted horizontally. The act of swimming. It was the swimming they enjoyed most. Be covered with or submerged in a liquid. The meat was swimming in a fatty gravy. Be afloat either on or below a liquid surface and not sink to the bottom. Be dizzy or giddy. My brain is swimming after the bottle of champagne. Move as if gliding through water. This snake swims through the soil where it lives. Travel through water. We had to swim for 20 minutes to reach the shore. Changed from a solid to a liquid state. Clear and bright. The liquid air of a spring morning. The state in which a substance exhibits a characteristic readiness to flow with little or no tendency to disperse and relatively high incompressibility. Filled or brimming with tears. Sorrow made the eyes of many grow liquid. Smooth and unconstrained in movement. The liquid grace of a ballerina. In cash or easily convertible to cash. Liquid, or fluid, assets. A frictionless continuant that is not a nasal consonant, especially L and R. A substance that is liquid at room temperature and pressure. Existing as or having characteristics of a liquid, especially tending to flow. Water and milk and blood are liquid substances. Fluid matter having no fixed shape but a fixed volume. Smooth and flowing in quality, entirely free of harshness. The liquid song of a robin. Applied to a fish depicted horizontally. Showing sorrow. Filled with or marked by tears. Tearful eyes. Parallel to or in the plane of the horizon or a baseline. A horizontal surface. Something that is oriented horizontally. Sports that involve bodies of water. Sports that involve bodies of water. The act of someone who floats on the water. Continually changing, especially as from one abode or occupation to another. The floating population. Borne up by or suspended in a liquid. The ship is still floating. Inclined to move or be moved about. A floating crap game. Not definitely committed to a party or policy. Floating voters. Of a part of the body, not firmly connected, movable or out of normal position. Floating ribs are not connected with the sternum. A steep nose-down descent by an aircraft. A headlong plunge into water. Drop steeply. A cheap disreputable nightclub or dance hall. Plunge into water. I was afraid to dive from the board into the pool. Swim underwater. The act of someone who floats on the water. Cause to be immersed. The professor plunged his students into the study of the Italian text. Begin with vigor. She plunged into a dangerous adventure. Immerse briefly into a liquid so as to wet, coat, or saturate. Drop steeply. The stock market plunged. Thrust or throw into. Fall abruptly. It plunged to the bottom of the well. Devote oneself fully to. A brief swim in water. A steep and rapid fall. Dash violently or with great speed or impetuosity. She plunged at it eagerly. Underwater swimming without any more breathing equipment than a snorkel. Swim underwater with no breathing apparatus other than a snorkel. Underwater swimming without any more breathing equipment than a snorkel. A naked swim. Bathe in the nude. The young people were skinny dipping in the pond. Cleanse the entire body. Bathe daily. Suffuse or envelope with something. The room was bathed in sunlight. Swim for pleasure or recreation. The act of swimming for pleasure or recreation. The Englishman said he had a good bathe. Appear to move downward. The sun dipped below the horizon. Switch. A car's headlights, from a higher to a lower beam. Dip into a liquid while eating. A sudden sharp decrease in some quantity. A dip in prices. Immerse briefly into a liquid so as to wet, coat, or saturate. Dip the garment into the cleaning solution. A thief who steals from the pockets or purses of others in public places. Dip into a liquid. He dipped into the pool. Physics. The angle that a magnetic needle makes with the plane of the horizon. A brief swim in water. A brief immersion. A candle that is made by repeated dipping in a pool of wax or tallow. A depression in an otherwise level surface. There was a dip in the road. A gymnastic exercise on the parallel bars in which the body is lowered and raised by bending and straightening the arms. Go down momentarily. Prices dipped. Immerse in a disinfectant solution. Dip the sheep. Lower briefly. She dipped her knee. Place candle wicks into hot, liquid wax. Plunge one's hand or a receptacle into a container. He dipped into his pocket. Scoop up by plunging one's hand or a ladle below the surface. Dip water out of a container. Slope downwards. Our property dips towards the river. Stain an object by immersing it in a liquid. Take a small amount from. I had to dip into my savings to buy him this present. Tasty mixture or liquid into which bite-sized foods are dipped. A headlong plunge into water. An athletic competition that involves diving into water. Emblem indicating the right of a person to bear arms. The study and classification of armorial bearings and the tracing of genealogies.
Become our student and get access to effective and free educational materials. Subscribe to our YouTube channel to become a part of our growing YouTube community and to learn English effectively.